West Ham United's Premier League season kicks off tomorrow at the London Stadium, where we take on Manchester City in a game. We just always seem to get Man City on a first game in a season. We haven't done it for a couple of years, but we're right back into the Manchester City swing. Hope you are all well. It's the unofficial preview for the West Ham versus Man City game. I'm looking forward to it. Good to have football back. I'm joined by Budgie from Green Street Elites today. Budgie, how are you?
Morning, Jake. I'm very well, thanks. How are you, bud?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Apologies for a couple of technical faults this morning. We didn't get it sorted.
Never apologise, mate. Never apologise. Technology's out there to beat us all.
It certainly is. But let's get straight back into the preview swing then. We haven't obviously done one for a while, and we face Man City tomorrow. How are you feeling about it, Budgie?
Do you know, I'm actually quietly confident, Jake. At the last home game of the season, last season, when we played them, we came out, we dominated them, we absolutely tore them a new one for the first 35 minutes or so. And it was beautiful to watch. Not through much of our own doing, City got themselves back in the game. Yes, there were one or two individual mistakes, but in general, you can't fault the play that the Man City players were producing, to get themselves back in the game. But we managed to hold out to a 2-2 draw, and that gave me confidence. That gave me confidence in the squad, in the guy, in the club, in the team. So hopefully, let's carry that confidence through to tomorrow. Go out there, completely tear them a new one for the first half, and then go out there and defend it. I think, I think that's probably going to be his plan.
Yeah, I think we've now shown that we can stand up to them, because we did it on 3 occasions last year. The away game, we fell short, but most teams do fall short when they go to Man City away. We beat them in the Carabao Cup, and we got a good point out of them towards the back end of the season. We've really proved to ourselves last season that we can stand up to a team like Man City and hold our own, and I don't expect anything less tomorrow.
And Liverpool also, you remember, Jake, you were at the Liverpool away game. That was a narrow victory for them. When they came to the London Stadium earlier in the season, we tore them a new one. Same with Chelsea. We've got the ability to dominate and create in games against top opposition. We showed it in the Europa League last year. Long may that continue. Hopefully tomorrow, boys will go out there full of confidence. We've just made a fantastic signing last night in Maxwell Cornet, which we've all been wanting. We've all said that we fancy him as a player, and to be fair, he's actually got a lot of ability to give. He's got a lot more than he's shown at Burnley. With players like Fornals and Lanzini and Rice and Tommy Socek and Antonio and Bowen and any of those guys, he's going to improve his game because he can play his game better with his deliveries, etc., etc.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think we've made some very good signings. I don't even think we'll probably see one of them feature tomorrow. We know Aguirre's injured. Downs is probably going to be on the bench. Cornet and Scamacca aren't going to be available, and we all know what Areola can do. Hopefully he will start. Let's go into the chat quickly. Kieran, hope you are well, my friend. Saying hello to you, Budgie. Haaland to score his first hat-trick. Watch Budgie's face. Hopefully not. To be fair, let's talk about that, and we'll talk about Man City more in depth in just a minute. But I really don't think that a player like Haaland's going to come in and hit the ground running and score 5 in his first month, in my opinion.
Well, for me, Jake, it's all very well being a fantastic player in the Bundesliga or in Ligue 1 or Serie A. It's fantastic being a top player in those leagues, and they're the kinds of players we want to attract to the Premier League because they play great football and it's attractive football. but it takes a little while to do that in the Premiership, as you know, Jake. You know, just a point of reference is Sebastian Haller. He was smashing it out there. Came to us, done very little. Admittedly, the goals that he did score for us were pretty near spectacular most of the time.
They were good.
And then when he went over to Ajax, he's been smashing it again. You know, so that just goes to show you that the Premier League isn't always the best destination for a player.
No.
And I'm kind of hoping that that's the case with Haaland. I'm hoping that he doesn't find his feet this season.
I think it's going to be. I think either Nunes of Liverpool and Haaland of City. One of them's going to do well, and I think one of them will fall short. I don't know which, but I've just got a funny feeling that Haaland is not going to hit the ground running. 8:40 p.m. over in Australia. It's a decent time, Kieran. You know, it's not 4 a.m. when it is at 7 o'clock. Peter, that's a very good comment. I think we will win, lose, or draw tomorrow. That is a very, very wise thing to say.
Fair comment. That could be, you know, very true.
Robert says, don't forget to watch the Martin Noble documentary. Yes, I've seen bits and pieces, and I think I watched the first 5 or 6 minutes ago. But yeah, we will get around to watching that at some point. Hammerhead, hope you are well as well. So in terms of West Ham, then we're going to talk a little bit about team news in a second. But how do you expect us to line up in this game? David Moyes has made hints that he could change the system. What do you think he's going to do?
Realistically, Jake, I'm thinking he's probably going to start with Fabianski, although I would say probably a good 80% of people that have an interest in West Ham, whether it be from a fan's point of view or from a business point of view, etc. I think 80% of us would say tomorrow is the perfect game to start putting Areola in as our Premier League keeper. I don't think David Moyes will feel that way right now. I think he's going to want 8 or 9 games before he starts using them. I think he wants to use his tried and tested formula. So we're not going to see much of a change in the starting 11. It's likely to be Fabianski, Creswell, Zuma, probably Dawson, maybe Oggy.
I think Moyes said that Ogbonna's still a few weeks away. He's playing in the under 23s. Right, okay. He's still got a few weeks away. So it will
be Dawson then, probably. And then we're looking at Soufal out on the right, most likely. Yeah. In front of those, you're going to obviously have Declan Rice and Tommy Soucek. In front of those, it will probably go across from left to right. Now, I'm going to stick my neck out here. It'll probably be Benrahma, Fornals and Bowen out on the right with Antonio up top.
Benrahma coming into the side over Lanzini. Bold.
Not that I would do that, because for me, I would build the team around Lanzini personally at this moment in time. For me, Lanzini's probably, from what I've seen up to this point, is probably the most technically gifted player in Claret and Blue right now. Mm-hmm. I would probably build the side around him if it was me, but I know what David Moyes is like, and he will probably have Lanzini on the bench, chomping at the bit, waiting for Benrahma to, you know,
come off on a 61st minute.
Yeah, or wherever, and then he'll go on there and produce something special, probably. That's probably that's my own personal. That's my own personal view on it. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, Jake. You know, I'd like to see Areola start. I would really like to see Flynn Downs start over Benrahma, if I'm honest. I know it's not his favoured position, but I would probably be inclined to stick Fornals out on the left, Downs in the middle, and Bowen out on the right. Just, you know, because for me, a little bit of new blood will change things up and they're
I've
not
got.
going to know what to expect.
I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a surprise. And a couple of people have said yes, David Moyes has ruled out Skamaka, but could that be some sort of smoke
Smoke
screen? David
and
Moyes
mirrors.
loves something like that. I think it's unlikely, but I do think that there will be some sort of element of surprise when we come to see the team sheet tomorrow afternoon. If,
Yeah,
in my opinion,
and I wouldn't be at all surprised if on the 80th minute you see Skamaka come on for 10, just to show him out.
Yeah.
We know that Cornet can't actually play on Sunday because he didn't get the paperwork in time to qualify for Sunday game,
Of course we didn't.
which surprises me though, Jake, because Chelsea managed to get the paperwork in for Cucurella. And they only announced it an hour before we announced Maxwell Cornet. So officially announced it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
To be fair though, I don't think he would have played Cornet because he's. I mean, we pretty much had a week with Skamaka, haven't we? And he hasn't even. He's been completely ruled out.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I don't suppose Cornet would have been used at all, but he may have been named as a sub.
It might have been, yeah.
May have been, just to show that we've got quality on the bench against Man City. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of puffing your chest out motion. I know I can perform. And it kind of puts Man City on the back foot a little bit. If they're not sure about how they're going to perform as a team tomorrow, if they've got any doubts whatsoever in their mind, we need to capitalise on that, Jake, as you will know.
Yeah.
We did it last season, as you said, towards the end of the season. We did it last season. We did it in the Carabao Cup. We didn't give them a chance to breathe on the pitch. We've got to do that again. And we've got to do that for 90 minutes, which is why it's important we have quality on the bench.
And it's because as well, because Man City will not like playing us because they know the troubles that we caused them last season. That'll be in the back of their minds. And as well, I think we all know what Man City are going to do. We know how they're going to set up whoever they've got on the pitch. They don't play a different way for who's on the pitch. They're going to go and they're going to play the Man City way under Pep Guardiola. But with us, we don't know what David Moyes is going to do, so they're not going to know what David Moyes is going to do. We might switch things up and go for a 4-5-1. Somebody put that in the chat. We'll get to it in a minute. We might switch things up to go to a back 3/5, or we might just not be surprised, as Kieran says. The only surprise is we won't be surprised, and we'll get a very familiar lineup. It swings and roundabouts, but let's take some of these comments then. Hamhead says, just watch the Mark Noble documentary. I'm crying my eyes out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. To watching it.
Me too.
Kieran said, get a grip, Hamhead. Apparently Moyes looked ill in the press conference. Well, that's not great, is it? That's not great. Let's 12 p.m. on a Friday is the cutoff for eligibility to play on that weekend. I think so.
Okay.
Apache, forget Lanzini and Fornals. Noble has to play. Sorry, I just finished one of our own documentary. Yeah, very good, very good. Surprise, Moyes. Oh, you come out with them, Peter. You come out of them, that's for sure. Hammerhead says Cornet deal has to be done and agreed by 12 o'clock yesterday to have been eligible to play against City. He won't be available. The only surprise is we won't be surprised. When everyone's available, we will play a 4-2-4. Now that is optimistic. 4-2-4. Well, to be fair, that's what we did at times last season when we had our fab front four of Benrahma, Lanzini, not Lanzini, Benrahma, Fornals, Bowen and Antonio. It was called that kind of front four system with the two just sitting behind. So we might revisit that this season. Paul says, not sure City will play the same with Haaland. See, it's going to be a learning curve for everybody tomorrow to see what he's like, I mean,
for the first time since City had Jelavic, really, they've got a proper big target man. They haven't had that for some time. Similarly to us, they've been playing with smaller stature, playing attackers rather than strikers. Haaland is an out-and-out striker. Yes, he's got some ability, but he's an out-and-out striker target man. It's the first time they've had that for a long time. So, we could see a change in their methods.
Yeah, we could. So yeah, Paul says there he is a proper number 9, so that might dictate the way we play. But it's time to go on to some team news. It's a new season, so I've bought some new graphics. Cheer at the back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the state of the preview. So we're going to get the oh my god, the time of the preview where we're going to go on and talk about a bit of team news. I hope this video works. It's time to see what the team news is. Thank you very much for the cheer at the back for that graphic. But
nice.
It's time to talk team news then. Let's talk Manchester City first. Apologies, I'm going to have to read off this because I can't memorise it. So there is question marks over the kind of Jack Grealish and Phil Foden situation. They seem to be underwhelming in pre-season. At the back, Aymeric Laporte remains absent after undergoing knee surgery. Sorry. So Aymeric Laporte will not be anywhere near the first team. That's a big blow for them. I mean, it's not like they haven't got any more defenders, but
bear with me 1 second, Jake. I'll be back in 1 second. Just got to answer the door.
That's right, no worries. We're live, people. So Aymeric Laporte at the back is injured. Guardiola can continue with Nathan Ake ahead of John Stones in the centre of defence, with Calvin Phillips will have to wait for his debut, apparently. So basically, they've got Nathan Ake and John Stones, as well as Ruben Diaz there. I mean, they're not bad centre-backs, are they? They're not bad at all. So Aymeric Laporte's injured. Ake might have to start. That might be somewhere that David Moyes might be trying to exploit, trying to get an Antonio onto Nathan Ake, because I mean, he's not their best player in their squad, is there? Is he predicted 11 for Manchester City? Then what do we make of this? Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Cancelo, Silva, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Haaland and Grealish. None of them would get into our side, would they? Not a bad side at all. Not a bad side at all. I don't know where Budgie's gone, but I'm sure we'll get him back in a second. Man, is here, Budgie. Very good, Kieran. Very good. Peter says, play Ake instead of Stones, please. I don't know what they'll do. To be honest, team news is no good news for us. In terms of West Ham, David Moyes kind of all but confirmed yesterday that there'll be no Scamacca involved. Whether that's a smokescreen or not, we'll have to wait and see. And he also confirmed that there will be a couple of worries. David Moyes basically said a couple of little niggles and things through pre-season. So a couple of players might be out, which could surprise us. Obviously, he's keeping it well under wraps about who that is. So we could see a couple of players missing tomorrow. Hopefully not, but there are a couple of little niggly injuries, according to David Moyes. Kieran says Haaland will become one of the best number 9s in the Premier League. I think he will, but let's not forget he's still young. They've got to almost blend together again, Man City, because they've lost a lot of players. They've lost their only recognised striker they had up front, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko at left back. They've lost Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. They've almost got like half of a new identity up front as well. So it's going to be interesting to see the way that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City take this now, playing a striker without Raheem Sterling, without a player like Gabriel Jesus. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen, and we're going to be the first team to experience it. So if it all goes up the wall, then we're going to win, aren't we? Let's take some more of your comments. Robert says, if we play the same team that played City last season, we have a shout. No Sterling, Jesus, Zinchenko. That's just what I said, yeah. I mean, they've brought in players like, I think that's Julian Alvarez, a very good player. I want to watch, definitely for sure, a player like Riyad Mahrez, who goes under the radar as well. Peter says, more scared of Alvarez if he gets on. Very, very good player. Hammerhead says, I feel City will play a more expansive brand of football, and we may see some more long balls and fast balls played down the wings. The crosses into Haaland, the Creswell on the left tomorrow will struggle. Yeah.
Sorry, Jake, I just got to make a quick phone call. It's for work. It's work-related stuff. They've lost a set of keys that I need to try and explain where they are. All right. So just give me a couple of minutes. I'll be back. All right, mate.
Cool.
Cheers,
just what I was saying there was I think the new identity with them is going to be interesting to see what they do. And in terms of us, you know, Creswell could get exposed on that side, and you know they'll be licking their lips saying that we haven't signed a left back, and it will be Aaron Creswell unless we go to a back 3 or 5 that starts down that side. So at the end of the day, he could get exposed more, and this is why I'm saying we need to sign a left back, because Aaron Creswell, yes, he's been good, but he's got no pace, and he could get ripped apart tomorrow, in my opinion. Let's take some more of your comments. Cyber Leader, hope you're higher, Jake. Will you get a City fan off the preview? No, I couldn't get a City fan, unfortunately. You just got to listen to me and Budgie talk about him instead. Yeah, Kieran says, I agree, Jake, but Pep is a great manager who adapts. He is. So it's going to be interesting to see the different brand of football that they portray for the next season or two, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what they'll do? Not us, that's for sure. Peter says, funny how Zinchenko played left back when he said he wanted to play midfield last night. Do you know what? Exactly the same thing. Do I want a sub, Kieran? I do, but I'm on my phone, so I can't send you the link, but I'll think of a way around it. Just give me a second. Peter says, funny how Zinchenko played left back. I thought that exact same thing. He said that he didn't want to play left back, so we didn't move for him. He goes to Arsenal and he plays left back. It just doesn't make sense, does it? It really doesn't make sense at all. Exactly. That's because City have no fans. Yeah, exactly. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break. We're going to thank our channel sponsors here on West Ham, Unofficial, SRM, Carver and Son. We will be back in 25 seconds. Please check out our channel sponsors here on West Ham Unofficial, SRM, Carver and Son. SRM, Carver and Son provide crushing, screening and aggregate recycling services across southern England. You can check out SRM, Carver and Son and more information by clicking the link in the description down below. Once again, a fantastic and a huge thank you to SRM, Carver and Son for sponsoring West Ham Unofficial, and come on your irons. So starting to get your predictions into the chat then. What are you going for in this first game of the season? Put your predictions into the chat. I've already said that I think it's going to be 1-1. I think Antonio will score the goal. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a difficult game. I do think we score first. I really, really do. But I think they do peg it back, as Man City always do, with a Mahrez goal to peg it back to 1-1. Lots of people going for a 2-2. Let's have a look into the chat. Peter says left back, centre back, DM and striker. Ones who are fit, hopefully, are needed. Yeah, I think I'd agree there, to be honest. Rob says, excuse my ignorance, but is that a grey box at the top meant to be empty? Oh, that's the that's the sky of the London Stadium. Apologies. Apologies. You're getting it now, Robert. Be kind. Come on, be kind. See, a lot of people say is look at the 10-year-old Jake in a sponsors clip. Sorry, do you want me to make another one? I'll make another one. 2-2, hopefully, says the cyber leader. I'm going for a 2-2 draw tomorrow. Paul's going one step further. He's going for a 3-2 to Manchester City. Fair enough. Rob sees it now. He sees it. Peter says 3-1 to them. Hope I'm wrong, but we aren't ready. Yeah, I can see why you say that we aren't ready, because we're not going to have any of our apart from Areola, who might start, we're not going to have any of our new signings playing, because Flynn Downs will be on the bench, as I said earlier. Scamacca's not available. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see. Cornet can't play. Aguerd's injured, and that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? So we are starting. We are starting with a different but the same team, just with a couple of players missing from the bench. Yarmolenko, a few. Yarmolenko, Noble, Krau, Masuaku. I don't even think we're going to be able to field a bench, to be honest, without going too much into without going too much into under 23s. I think it's going to be difficult to field a bench. Has Onana signed up for Everton? Not as of yet, but I do think that's pretty much nailed on. Kieran says it's a 2-0 loss, but we will do Forest I like the optimism we will do for us. Hopefully, the Jesse Lingard derby, it is happening. But let's go on to some final thoughts then for this game. Before we do, Kent, hope you are well, my friend. 2-2 tomorrow. Plenty of 2-2s. We're going for a repeat of the back end of last season with a 2-2 draw there. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's going to be a very difficult game, but I do think Man City will fear us as well, in a way as well. They don't fear many clubs, but we caused them problems last season. We're probably one of the clubs that they didn't want on the opening day of the season, and we could cause them some serious problems. Peter said Zuma looked like he played the second half of the season injured, and we know Dawson was carrying an injury as well. Yeah, because Zuma, he always felt like he was hobbling, didn't he? Hobbling along, but he always got on with it. But yeah, I agree. And Dawson, he just carried on, didn't he? He just carried on. I hope you like the cards, Jay. Thank you very much, Cyber. They're over there. Thank you very much for sending me those. Very, very much. Hammer says Rice will score. What a way to open a season. Declan Rice hitting it into the back of the net. That would be good. That would be really good. Ken says, let Onana go, Everton, and we move on. Yeah, I think that's what we've got to do at the end of the day. Whatever's happened there, it's happened now, and it's not going to happen. So just move on. We're linked with that Sanagra guy from PSV now, Cornet's international teammate. So we could make a move for him, the 24-year-old from PSV. But yeah, we've got to move on, haven't we? Peter says Moyes will park the bus and they will get us on the break. I can see a sort of back five happening tomorrow, back three, back five, with kind of like to I say that to almost protect Creswell there, to put him into like a back three with Dawson and Zuma or whoever, and then put Fornals as the left wing back, which doesn't help Fornals at all, but it might help the squad in a whole, because you can then push Ben Rama out to the left, Lanzini in the middle, Bowen on the right, and Antonio up top. That could be the best option for David Moyes tomorrow. I would not be surprised if that happens tomorrow. Here he is, he's back.
Oh, my apologies, mate. Sorry about that. Blinking work related issues.
Just had to rabbit on about absolute nothingness. I haven't realised.
No, you know, I'm driving an Uber at the moment, and
right.
I hung the keys up for the car that I was using, and they can't find them. So I'm telling them they're hanging up on key hook number 7, and they're going, there isn't a key hook number 7. I'm like, yes, there is. And they're looking in the keys for the building, not the keys for the car. Idiots. Oh, absolute idiots. That's what happens when you leave, you know, idiots in charge. Anyway, I'm supposed to be having the weekend off. Anyway, sorry about that, mate.
That's all right. Let's go on to your prediction then, mate. What are you going for?
Okay. Oh, well. Prediction for the game tomorrow. I reckon at half-time, it's going to be a close 1-0 to West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
And full time, I'm going for a 2-1 to West Ham.
Oh, a lot of people have gone 2-2. I went 1-1. People are backing a draw, but you honestly think we're going to win?
I think we will. I think I've got confidence in the boys to go out there and just go, look, you know, last season we did this, we did that. You know, they beat us narrowly, only in one game, you know. Yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to go out there and get a narrow win, but it'll be a win.
I like it. Who's going to get the goals?
Tommy Soucek could get one from a corner.
Fair.
Who's going to get the other one? Jared Bowen.
Bowen's on fire. He's going to start the season well, and a good start to the season for players like Soucek and Ben Rama's key. If Ben Rama's playing tomorrow, he's got to make an impact straight away. He can't
instantly, yeah.
It can't be if he's given the opportunity to start in a system that could involve Fornals dropping back into a wing back position, which he has done before. Then he will start on the left hand side, and he's got to make an impact. Otherwise, well, if he takes a month or two to start doing something, then I think the fans and David Moyes is going to get more increasingly frustrated with him.
And yeah, they're going to get on his back. The fans will get on his back. David Moyes will be less inclined to put effort and work into him, and less inclined to use him. you know, and that would be an absolute shame because we know there's a dynamic player inside that boy.
Yeah. As well, a big season for a player like Nikola Vlasic as well. We haven't mentioned him yet.
Huge.
There's been rumours linking him away from the club, but it looks like it's going to stay for the time being. I can't see him getting anything tomorrow, but perhaps the Conference League games in a couple of weeks' time.
There's also the opportunity for him to come on as a substitute, like anyone else can. And if he does do that, he has to basically come on as a real impact sub. Ears need to be pricking up, Jake. You know what I mean? It's not a case anymore of, okay, it's his first season. Let him bed himself in. Let him get used to the atmosphere, the style of play, the people around him, the people he answers to. He's done that now. He's had his bedding in period, as it were, in that respect. Now, he has that level of expectation has to go up, and his level of desire has to go up. His level of performance has to go up. Very, very much like any of the players this season. Everybody has to step it up a little.
Yeah, because as well, as a creative player, I know Vlasic will probably play on the right, but you've also got Cornet coming in, which could affect either Vlasic or Benrahma, depending on which way you look at it at the end of the day. And bringing in a player like that, does it put a Benrahma or Vlasic back the pecking order once more? And I just feel it's a big season for both of those players, and I think if it's not going well, at least one of them will be sold in January, and I think we will get a replacement in, if I'm honest with you personally, because Vlasic just can't do what he did last season. He's had his as you said, bedding in period now, and he just can't go with coming on for quite a majority of games and scoring one tap in and looking lively here and there, but that's not really gonna cut it this season, in my opinion. Let's take some more comments. Hammerhead says, I can see Benrahma going back to Brentford in January. Well, they've lost Ericsson, haven't they? That could be a possibility. Peter says, even to the fact of Benny will go before the window closes. I suppose we've still got 24, 25 days left of this transfer window.
That's not impossible, but it's not likely.
No. Kieran says, I'm backing a loss. Negative Nelly, as Hammerette calls me. To be fair, this is probably one of the very few games in a season where I could just about justify you backing a loss, Kieran. But I do think we're going to stand up, and this is the best time to play a Manchester City side, in my opinion. Best time to play. And Chris from Leicester ITV, hope you are well. Who have you lot got today, Chris? Because you haven't got any players, have you? They're all gone. Injuries, you start selling them. Have you even got any players? You're like us, we ain't got any players. Peter says defense is weak, but with Skamaka and Cornet attacking should become better. Yeah, I agree. Defense, it's okay. It'll get us through. They did. At the end of the day, the two centre-backs, they did a very good job last season, Zuma and Dawson. The left-back, there's question marks over that. Right-back, one thing we haven't discussed, if we play a back four, Soufal or Johnson, Budgie?
I think it'll be Soufal. And by the way, Leicester have got Brentford tomorrow at Brentford. Oh, no, sorry, at Leicester. That's the early game tomorrow. I think it's going to be Soufal. Yeah, I think he's going to be Soufal. Only purely and simply because I know David Moyes is in mind. I claim to know David Moyes.
We all claim on it to know what he's thinking and what he's going to do. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if it's not Soufal tomorrow. If I'm honest with you, we need. Ken says we need at least another 4 players. Well, David Moyes made it very clear on his press conference yesterday that we are not done. I mean, we need an absolute minimum of another 2 players. But, if we start getting into the 3 and 4, I think it's a very good transfer window. Budgie, you going tomorrow, our Cyber?
Yes, I am going tomorrow. Wouldn't miss it for the world. First game of the season. Yeah, definitely. I've got to go, haven't I?
Good to be back. Good to be back, isn't it?
Oh,
Chris says we will win the 5-a-side league this season. Yeah, not much else. Very good, Chris. Very good. Of course, Brentford have got Lewis Potter, haven't they? They've signed Potter and one of the other ones, but there's not much else going from this season. But we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Mate,
Peter,
listen, Brentford have been able to make a game, with the bare bones. But I
yeah,
mean,
they are. Yeah,
nobody expected them to walk into the Premiership and absolutely embarrass Arsenal on the opening day,
that
which
was
they did last season. Yeah. And that gave everybody a boost on the day. Everybody that doesn't like Arsenal, of course.
Yeah.
But nobody expected that, and I think beware of Brentford. We've proved that twice last season, home and away. We didn't get a point against them. They took all 6 points against us. So let's not underestimate Brentford, even though they haven't made huge signings.
Yeah. Peter says even Moyes doesn't know what he's thinking. True. Ken says if we don't bring in a left back, which is possible, we do need one. I can see Johnson playing there. He's a better left back than he is right back. Yeah, he's claimed to be a right-footed, very good right back, but in recent times he has seemed to be playing better at left back. So maybe we could even see
very decent. Yeah.
We could even see Creswell put on the bench and Johnson just that bit of pace out there.
You never know. You
Plenty
never know.
of options.
It would certainly suit the game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Bit of pace down that left-hand side. It certainly would. And if that is one of the changes that David Moyes has alluded to, then I'll tip my hat to him.
Yeah, it's bold. It really is bold. But there we go. West Ham versus Man City tomorrow, the opening day of the season. A lot of people have branded it as a free hit. I mean, if we get anything, we will be happy tomorrow at the end of the day. If I'm sat on the review show tomorrow, most likely with Kieran, because everybody else will be in the game. Thanks, Kieran. And if we're talking about us and we've got a point, I think we will be very, very happy indeed. But there we go. West Ham versus Man City. My prediction 1-1, 2-1. Budgie's prediction. Let's go on to some final thoughts then. What are you saying, Budgie? Final thoughts.
Okay, look, there's obviously a lot of respect between the clubs, Man City and West Ham United. Obviously, there's a lot of respect there. At the last game last season, which was Noble's last home game, we had the celebrations for him after the game, etc., etc. I think 90% of the Man City support was still there, celebrating his career with us, which was brilliant. So, I see no issues in that respect. The only issues I see is us going out there and being overconfident and underperforming. That's the only fear I have for tomorrow. And if we don't do that, we stand a good chance for at least a point against them. We've done it last season. We've done it at the end of last season. Everybody was knackered. Everybody was looking tired. And we went out there and we absolutely embarrassed them for the first 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I've got a lot of confidence that we can go out there. We can get a minimum of a point. I'm sure we'll get 3, sorry.
Hopefully we do. Yeah, if we come out of the blocks quick and we get a corner in the first 10 minutes and we have a good start, we get on top in the first 20 minutes. Let's hope that the London Stadium gets up tomorrow. First game of the season. Let's get off to a good start. Man City, anything can happen. Let's get behind the team. Let's roar bubbles out and let's go and let's try and win there.
One other thing I would like us to do at the stadium tomorrow. If you don't mind me asking, Jake, 33rd minute, people, please give a round of applause for Peach.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get as many people doing that as we can for our lost friend Peach. 33rd minute, guys. So keep your eyes and ears open for that.
Brilliant. So if you're there tomorrow when you hear clapping on the 37th minute, please do join in. But there we go. That's the match unofficial preview for West Ham versus Man City as the Manchester club come down for the opening day of the season. They don't really like the London Stadium and in the last year or so. That's right. Who knows what will happen. Thanks for watching. I've been Jake from West Ham Unofficial. He has been Budgie and he's back again. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much, Budgie, and we will catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial.
Take care. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Bye.